Yes, dear students, listen carefully. In the what is the given first question, dear students? So, in the today's class, we are discussing about chemical bonding and molecular structures, main important objective questions. Okay, and this chapter is very important for NEET exam or JEE exam or MSET or CET, whatever the exams. This chapter is very important. Okay, students, let's see the first question, dear students. AB bond they gave. Okay, students. So for AB bond, the electronegativity difference between the AB bond is Xa minus Xb values they gave, and they took that Xa minus Xb values in x-axis, and percentage of ionic character they took in a y-axis. Then they gave three curves, four curves they gave, the curve A and curve B, curve C and curve D. Okay, among these given curves, which curve having more ionic nature we need to identify. Okay, students, it is very clear. First, we will discuss about ionic nature, how it will be depends on the electronegativity differences. So, if you are observed that ionic nature, percentage of ionic nature in terms of electronegativity is formula is equals to 16 into Xa minus Xb plus 3.5 into Xa minus Xb whole square. Okay, and it is very clear, dear students, the electronegativity difference between the bonded atoms increases and ionic nature increases. Ionic nature increases. Okay, students. And another important point, the electronegativity difference between the two bonded atoms, Xa minus Xb is equals to 1.7, exactly is equals to 1.7. Then the bond has 50 percentage ionic nature and 50 percentage covalent nature is present. If the electronegativity difference is more than 1.7, then the bond has more ionic nature, around 75 percentage ionic nature, the remaining 25 percentage covalent nature is present. If it is less than 1.7, then the bond has more covalent nature, means around 75 percentage covalent nature, the rest of 25 percentage ionic nature is present. So according to that information, it is very clear, dear students, electronegativity difference increases, then the ionic nature increases. So if you're observed in the given question, the graphs, if you're observed that the C graph, the electronegativity difference is increases. The Xa minus Xb value is increasing. So that's why C graph has more ionic nature. C graph has a more ionic nature. So the answer is C. The C option is present in C only. So that's why C option is correct. Sometimes the C curve option they will give in B. So while the curve is C, directly don't do the tick mark for C option. Just you have to observe carefully the options also. So if you are not observed the options directly while seeing the curves only, the curve is C, just you are doing the tick mark of C. Okay, here the options also they gave perfectly, because the C curve is present in C option only. That's why your answer is C option. But the C curve is present in B option, means you have to choose B option is correct. Okay, students, don't forget and don't confuse. And it is very clear, the C curve electronegativity difference is increasing, and it is value is also more than 1.7. That's why it has more ionic nature. And A curve, if you observe that the electronegativity difference is decreasing gradually, it is decreases. And C B curve also is constant, and the D curve is also constant and parallel to the D curve is parallel to the x-axis, and B curve is parallel to the y-axis. That's why their electronegativities are difference is less, and their ionic nature is also less. So the answer is C option. Okay, students, let's go for second question, dear students. What is the second question? The second question they are asked the dipole moment differences between NH3 and NF3. Okay, students, if you observe that the dipole moment value for NH3 is more than the NF3. NH3 is more than the NF3. Why they are asked? Okay, students, why? Even the electronegativity of fluorine atoms is more when compared to the hydrogen atoms, but NH3 ammonia has more dipole moment when compared to NF3. Why means, for example, if you draw the structure of NH3, NH3 has pyramidal shape and one lone pair is present and three nitrogen and hydrogen bond pairs are present. And the nitrogen is more electronegative compared to hydrogen. The bond moment will be moving towards the nitrogen atom side, and the atomic dipole is also moving in the same direction. The atomic dipole and bond moments all are in the same direction. That's why NH3 having more NH3 having more dipole moment when compared to NF3. For example, NF3 structure, if you draw that, NF3 is also sp3 hybridization. The central atom nitrogen having one lone pair and three bond pairs are present, but the bonded atom, fluorine atoms are more electronegative when compared to nitrogen. That's why the bond is moved towards the bonded electrons are moving towards the fluorine atom side, but the atomic dipole, lone pair electrons are moving upward direction. That's why it is in opposite. So opposite, that's why the dipole moment mu value is less. Its dipole moment mu is equals to 1.5 device and its value is equals to around 0.2 device they gave. Okay, students, the reason is in NH3, the atomic dipole and bond dipoles are in the same direction, but whereas NF3 in the opposite direction, because this bond dipole is upward direction, the remaining, the bond moments are in downward direction. Then the resultant force will be cancelled with each other somewhat, but nu is not equal to 0, but the dipole moment value is little bit decreasing when compared to ammonia, Okay, students, so the answer is first option. This kind of questions are very, very important. Okay, let's go for third question, dear students. What is the given third question, dear student? The third question is, we need to identify the identical bond orders. Okay, for identification of bond orders, we need to go through the MOT theory, molecular orbital theory. So molecular orbitals, the filling of electrons in molecular orbitals, electronic configurations we need to learn. According to that, bond order formula is equals to half number of bonding electrons, bonding molecular orbitals minus number of anti-bonding molecular orbital electrons. This is very lengthy process. We have to calculate the all molecules or ions electronic molecular orbital electronic configuration we need to write, and after that we have to calculate the bond order. That's why I will give you one shortcut trick. So you have to follow that. We can identify very easily bond orders as well as magnetic natures also. Okay, students. So the molecular orbital electrons. Let's see that molecular orbital containing electrons and bond order. Okay, so the bond order and the magnetic nature. So these two informations you have to remember, because the magnetic nature also most frequently they are asking from this chapter. So for example, one electron is present. Okay, students, one electron is present, its bond order is 0.5. If the electrons are entering into the bonding molecular orbital, the bond order is increased by 0.5. If the electrons are entering into the anti-bonding molecular orbitals, bond order is decreased by 0.5. Okay, students, the nature is paramagnetic nature. If the two electrons are present, that bond order is 1.0, and the diamagnetic nature, if that number of electrons are 3, again the third electron is entering into the anti-bonding, then it's by 0.5 decreases, 0.5, and paramagnetic nature, and 4 electrons are present, then 0, and does not exist. Okay, students, and 5 electrons are present, again the fifth electron is entering into the bonding molecular orbital, that's why it is 0.5 km and paramagnetic nature, and 6 electrons are present, 1.0, and it is also diamagnetic nature, and 7 electrons are present, again that 7th electron is entering into the anti-bonding molecular orbital of sigma 2s, that's why it is become 0.5 and paramagnetic nature, and 8 electrons are present, again that 0 and does not exist, like He2 does not exist. Okay, students, next 9 electrons are present, again 0.5 paramagnetic nature, and 10 electrons are present. Okay, students, 1.0 paramagnetic nature, Like example B2 has 10 electrons are present and it's a paramagnetic nature. B2 10 electrons are present, and O2 minus 2 is also 8 plus 8 16 plus 2 18 electrons are present, and both bond orders are 0. Sorry, bond orders are is equals to 1 and bond order is also is equals to 1. Now but B2 is paramagnetic and O2 2 minus is diamagnetic. But here just bond order, identical bond orders only they are asked, so the answer is C option will comes. Okay, students, let's listen the remaining up to 20 electrons bond orders and magnetic natures we need to learn. Now the 11 electrons are present. The 11 electrons are present, then the bond order is equals to 1.5. Okay, paramagnetic nature, and 12 electrons are present, the bond order is equals to 2.0. Diamagnetic nature, example C2, and 13 electrons are present, the bond order is 2.5, and it is paramagnetic nature, example N2 plus. Okay, and CO plus. 14 electrons are present, the bond order is equals to 3.0, and diamagnetic nature. So this is the highest bond order in diatomic molecules. Diatomic molecules, the highest bond order is 3 only, example N2, and diamagnetic nature. Okay, students, CO is also, so the CO has 14 electrons are present, that's why its bond order is equals to 3, and O2 2 minus has 18 electrons, or bond order is equals to 1. Okay, bond order is equals to 3. Next 15 electrons are present, the 15th electron is entering into the anti-bonding molecular orbitals, that's why bond order is decreases, then 2.5, then it is paramagnetic nature, and 16 electrons like O2 is bond order is 2 and paramagnetic nature. How many single electrons are present? Means 2 unpaired electrons are present in anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Then in 16 electrons, that is example for O2, the number of unpaired electrons N is equals to 2, dear students, you have to remember. And 17 electrons are present, then again that electrons will paired, then the bond order is still decreases 1.5, then its nature is paramagnetic nature, and 18 electrons are present, then the bond order is equals to 1.0, diamagnetic nature. So this example O2 minus, this is example O2 minus 2, this is a superoxide O2 minus, and O2 minus 2 is peroxide, and 19 electrons are present, then again 0.5, then paramagnetic nature, and 20 electrons are present, then 0 and does not exist. Okay, student, this tabular form if you are keeping in your mind, means we can solve very easily bond orders, and we can identify very easily magnetic natures also. Okay, so now O2 minus bond order is equals to 1.5. It is 1.5, and CO is equals to 3.0, and O2 minus 2 and B2 both bond orders are 1, but B2 is paramagnetic and O2 minus 2 is diamagnetic nature. And CO and N2 plus. CO already 14 electrons, bond order is equals to 3, and N2 plus means 13 electrons, bond order is equals to 2.5. Its bond order is equals to 2.5, dear student. So the correct identical bond orders option is third option. Okay, and it is very very important, you have to remember. Okay, students, let's see the fourth question. The fourth question is, what is the given fourth question? If you observe that fourth question, which of the following statements are correct, they are asked. Okay, first option, if you observe that pH5 means the central atom is phosphorus. The phosphorus central atom, its electronic configuration is NS2 NP3. Okay, so but valency is 5 or covalency is 5. So 5 unpaired electrons is required from its first excitation state. First excited state, its electronic configuration is NS1, NP3, and ND1. Like total 5 unpaired electrons will get. Okay, students. So these 5 unpaired electrons, if they bonds with hydrogen atoms, but the d orbital D and hydrogen atom electronic configuration is 1s1 and ds bond is weak. ds bond is weak and D and S bond is weak because the overlapping is very weak, or strength or overlapping is does not exist, or d orbitals and s orbitals bonding is very weak because of weak overlapping, therefore pH5 does not exist. pH5 does not exist, but PCl5 will be exist. In the PCl5 one orbital, what is that orbital overlapping, dear students? That d orbital and p orbitals overlapping is present. d orbital and p orbital overlapping will be present. That's why PCl5 will be exist, but pH5 will not be exist. pH3 exist. pH3 will be exist, you have to remember. At the same way BiCl5 bismuth, if you observe that nitrogen family, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth, okay, its electronic configuration, oxidation states ns2 np3. If the ns2 electrons are not involving in the chemical bonding, +3 oxidation state stability increases. In a down the group, +3 oxidation state stability increases and +5 oxidation state stability decreases due to inert pair effect. Due to inert pair effect, +5 oxidation state stability decreases. So bismuth in +5 oxidation state stability, bismuth +5 oxidation state is unstable, so does not exist. BiCl5 does not exist. Okay students, so the first option is correct. And let's see the SO2 sulfur dioxide structure. If you observe that sulfur dioxide, it has one lone pair and two sigma bonds and two pi bonds are present. So in that sulfur ns2 np4, the sulfur general electronic configuration is ns2 np4, then its covalency is total 4. The covalency is 4, so that 4 covalency will be exist in first excited state. The s electrons will be paired and the p electrons will be the paired one p electron will be becomes unpaired. Then it involves one s orbital and 3 p orbital, 2 p orbitals to gives 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals. So its hybridization is sp2 and this p atomic orbital forms pi p pi bond and another pi d pi bond, d pi p pi bond will form. So in SO2 p pi d pi bond is exist. So there are two pi bonds are present. One pi bond is p pi p pi bond, the second pi bond is d pi p pi bond. If SO3, if you observe that sulfur trioxide, here 3 pi bonds are present. Out of 3 pi bonds, two d pi, sorry, out of 3, one p pi p pi bond and 2 d pi p pi bond. Okay students, two d pi p pi bonds are present in SO3, but in SO2 one d pi p pi bond is present. So the second statement is also correct. And third one, if you observe that the third i3 plus the iodine is one iodine is the central atom, then I plus has total out of valence is 7 electrons. 7 minus 1 means 6 electrons are present. So the dot method I am using to identifying the geometry as well as hybridization. So due to the presence of positive charge on the central atom, then 1 electron will be decreases. That's why 6 dots only I am taking. Okay, and that 2 iodine atoms are bonded atoms. They use 2 electrons. The remaining 2 lone pairs are present. So it has 2 lone pairs plus 2 sigma bond pairs are present. The total 4 hybrid orbitals are present. That's why it is sp3 hybridization. Bent shape, bent or V shape molecule, V shape. So the structure will comes like this. Okay, students. So its hybridization is sp3, like water molecule structure. It is also correct. The geometry is a bent and SCF4 and CH4 shapes are same. They said selenium. So oxygen, sulfur, cellurium, and tellurium. So it is a sixth group element. So the cellurium has structure. If you observe that it has one lone pair is present and the remaining 4 bond pairs are present. Its hybridization is sp3 dehybridization and CH4 hybridization is tetrahedral geometry and sp3 hybridization. We know very well it is sp3 tetrahedral and SCF4 is seesaw shape. So the geometry is not same. That's why the statement is wrong. So the correct option is 1, 2, 3 statements are correct. That is the first option is a correct, students. Okay. So here how to solve? Just you have to observe that 4 statements and we'll get idea. And we have to. That's why Vesper theory and calculation, hybridization calculations are very very important. So the based on the Vesper theory, we can identify very easily number of sigma bond pairs and lone pairs. Based on the number of sigma bond pairs and lone pairs, its hybridization and geometry we can identify very easily. Okay, students. So at the same way, electronic configurations also very very important. Based on the electronic configurations of the outer shell, we can identify very easily types of pi bonds. Pi bond is not a hybrid orbital bond. Pi bond is formed due to the overlapping of atomic orbitals of central atom as well as the atomic orbitals of bonded atoms only. That's why pi bonds are not considered as a hybrid orbital bonds. So only sigma bonds and lone pairs we have to consider as a hybrid orbitals. Okay, hybrid orbitals maybe lone pairs or sigma bond pairs. Lone pairs as well as a sigma bond pairs. Okay, students, let's go for fifth question. Fifth question, dear students, we have to identify the number of sigma and pi bonds present in the 1, 3, 5, 7 octet tetraene. Octet tetraene means 8 carbon atoms are present. Okay, just I am drawing that bond line structure. It's very easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the alternative double bonds are present in between 1, 3, 5, 7. 1, 3, 5, 7. Now we have to find out the number of sigma and pi bonds. It's very clear, dear students. One double bond is present means one sigma and one pi bond is present. The triple bond is present means one sigma, remaining 2 are the pi bonds are present. Here all are the double bonds. How many double bonds are present, dear students? 4 double bonds are present. Double bonds are present. That's why they contains 4 pi bonds. It's very clear. Pi bonds we are identified. Okay, now the sigma bonds we need to identify. For the identification of sigma bonds, we have to calculate the number of carbon atoms and number of hydrogen atoms because it is a open chain structure. So if you observe that end, the double bond is present, the CH2, here 2 hydrogens are present. And here this carbon has 1 hydrogen and 1 hydrogen, and here hydrogen, and here hydrogen and hydrogen atom, and this end 2 hydrogens are present. So the number of sigma bonds is equals to number of sigma bonds is equals to number of carbon atoms plus number of hydrogen atoms minus 1. Okay, if you observe that in the question, how many carbon atoms are present, dear students? 8 carbon atoms are present. And how many hydrogen atoms are present, dear students? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is also 1, 10. 10 hydrogen atoms are present minus 1 because the open chain structure means the end carbon atoms are not connected. That's why we need to minus 1. We need to do minus 1. That's why 18 minus 1 means 17. So the 17 sigma bonds plus 4 pi bonds are present. So the answer is a B option. Okay, students. Let's see the sixth question. The sixth question is isocyanates. This is alkyl isocyanates. This R place, if you are taking CH3 group, then CH3 and C double bond O and C double bond O is nothing but methyl isocyanate, MIC. This methyl isocyanate is very poisonous gas and it is also called as Bhopal gas. Bhopal gas tragedy. This is only the released in the Bhopal area. That Bhopal gas tragedy, 1987 something. Okay, that MIC methyl isocyanates are very harmful gases. So we need to identify the carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen hybridization. If you observe that given structure, this alkyl group, they're not asked. Nitrogen has total 5 electrons are present. Out of 5, 3 are involving bonding. In the valence shell, 1 lone pair is present, and the central carbon is present. It has 2 double bonds are present. We know very well the carbon atoms has all single bonds means sp3 hybridization. 1 double bond is present means sp2. 1 triple bond or 2 double bonds are present, then its hybridization is sp. Its hybridization is sp, and this oxygen atom has 2 lone pairs plus 1 sigma bond pair is present. Total 3 electron pairs. The 3 electron pairs means its hybridization is sp2. So its hybridization is sp2. And come to the point regarding nitrogen, it contains this nitrogen has 2 sigma bond pairs. 2 sigma bond pairs plus 1 lone pair is present. That's why total 3 electron pairs. The total 3 electron pairs means its hybridization is sp2. So the correct sequence hybridization is sp2, sp, sp2. sp2, sp, sp2 means A option is correct. Okay, student, this is about the hybridization of nitrogen, carbon, and oxygen. How to identify the hybridization? So the hybridization is nothing but number of hybrid orbitals is 2 sp, 3 sp2, 4 sp3, 5 sp3d, 6 sp3d2, and 7 sp3d3. Okay, the number of electron pairs is nothing but number of lone pairs plus sigma bond pairs only. You don't consider the pi bonds. Okay, pi bonds we don't consider in hybrid orbitals. Okay, students, so the sixth question answer is A. Let's see that seventh question, dear students. The seventh question, what is the given seventh question, dear students? The given seventh question is they're asking boron and fluorine bond is strong. The bond dissociation energy is more when compared to the carbon and fluorine. Why? What is the reason they're asking? The reason is the boron trihalides, they involving in back bonding. Due to that back bonding in between the boron atom and fluorine atom forms a partial double bond character, means significant pi bond character will be present. Automatically the bond dissociation energy will be more. Okay, students, the seventh question is, for example, BF3. Just one back bonding only I am showing. So that boron is a third A group element. So it has one vacant p orbital is present. This is the vacant in its valence shell. The vacant p orbital is present, p atomic orbital, and the bonded atoms fluorine atoms are present. They have 3 lone pairs are present. The 3 lone pairs, then they donate the back bonding to the vacant orbital. This is called as back bonding, and due to that back bonding due to back bonding forms pi bond or significant p pi bond. That's why, therefore, boron and fluorine bond dissociation energy is more than the carbon and fluorine atoms, because if you observe that in CH4 there is no vacant orbital. So in the central atom carbon doesn't have doesn't have vacant orbitals, doesn't have vacant orbitals, and no back bonding, no back bonding. Okay, students, that's why BF3, in BF3 boron fluorine bond dissociation energy is more than the carbon and fluorine bond dissociation energy. So the answer is B option is correct. Okay, students, in the same way boron trihalides acidic character means these all are boron trihalides are Lewis acids. The Lewis acid means the central atom accepting tendencies decreases due to the back bonding. Then the Lewis acidic strength order of boron trihalides, Lewis acidic strength order of boron trihalides, you have to remember, dear students, in a group top to bottom, the electronegativity decreases means acidic nature need to decreases, but here the acidic nature is increasing due to back bonding effect. So BF3, what happened? The fluorine and boron atom back bonding is very strong. That's why that electron density on boron atom is increasing. Due to increasing electron density, accepting tendencies decreases, then the Lewis acidic strength decreases. BF3, fluorine, chlorine, and bromine, BBr3 and Bi3. Okay, is very very important, dear students. The back bonding concept. Okay, let's see the 8th question, dear students. What is the given 8th question? The given 8th question is which has more polarizability. Okay, students, so the polarizability means Fajan's rules we need to remember. So Fajan's rules, if you observe that polarizing power is directly proportional to charge of cation. Okay, polarizing power is related to cations. Charge of cation is inversely proportional to size of cation, and is polarizing power is directly proportional to covalent nature. And the second one is for anions, that is polarizability. Polarizability is directly proportional to size of anion. Size of anion is also directly proportional to charge on anion, because the negative charge increases, size of anion also increases. Charge on anion and is also directly proportional to covalent nature and inversely proportional to ionic nature, both covalent nature and inversely proportional to ionic nature. So among that, polarizability of ion means negative ion which has larger size, that polarizability we need to identify. The polarizability order, the polarizability is highest for iodine, I minus, and then Cl minus, and then F minus, and then Na plus. Okay, student. So the highest polarizability is B option is correct. Okay. Next, let's see 9th question, dear students. What is the given 9th question? The given 9th question is which of the following has minimum fluorine, sulfur, and fluorine bond angle is present? They're asking. So first you have to draw the structure of the given molecules based on the Vesper theory. So you want to draw the structure means we have to find out the number of electron pairs. Okay, according to that we can draw the structure very easily. The first one is SSF2. Okay, this is the central atom, sulfur is the central atom, dear students. Okay, and the sulfur is central atom, and total 6 electrons are present. Out of the 6 electrons, 2 bonding with fluorine and 2 are bonding with fluorine atoms. Okay, total 4 is over, and 1 electron pair is present, 1 lone pair is present. 1 lone pair and 3 bond pairs means it is sp3 hybridization and pyramidal shape. The shape will comes like this: sulfur and fluorine and fluorine. So it has 1 lone pair plus 3 sigma bond pairs, total 4, and sp3 hybridization and pyramidal shape. The bond angle is less than 109 degrees 28 minutes. And let's see the second one, SF6. The second one is SF6. Is also sulfur is the central atom. Total 6 electrons are present in the outermost shell. So it has 6 sigma bond pairs plus 0 lone pairs. That's why it is the 6 means sp3d2 hybridization and octahedral geometry. Sulfur and fluorine, and all sulfur fluorines are in perpendicular with each other, and the bond angle is 90 degrees. The bond angle is 90 degrees. Okay, students, let's see the third one, SF2. The third one is SF2. SF2 means only 2 bonded atoms are present. That is also sigma bonds only. The remaining 6 out of 6, 2 electrons are over. Remaining 4 are existing in 2 lone pairs. So it contains 2 lone pairs plus 2 sigma bond pairs. 2 sigma bond pairs. Then total 4 means sp3 hybridization and bent shape. Bent shape or V-shape molecule. Fluorine atoms being like this. That's why its bond angle is less than 109 degrees. Bond angle is less than 109.28 minutes. And let's see that D option, dear students. The D option is SF3. SF means here SF is bonded atom, dear student. This structure is being like this. So total it contains 1 lone pair and 4 bond pairs are present. The sigma bond pairs are present. Then here SF bond will be constant. Due to presence of 1 lone pair means its hybridization is, this geometry is seesaw geometry, and hybridization is sp3d hybridization seesaw. Due to the presence of lone pair, due to presence of 1 lone pair, the bond angle is less than 90 degrees. The bond angle is less than 90 degrees. Minimum bond angle is present in a D option. Okay, students. So the answer is D. So minimum fluorine, sulfur, and fluorine bond angle we need to identify. It is that this bond angle is less than 90 degrees. Bond angle is less than 90 degrees. Let's see that 10th question, dear students. What is the given 10th question? The given 10th question is, which of the following statement is correct regarding IF3 plus and I3 minus, they are asked. So I3 plus and I3 minus. Okay, here the central atom is iodine, having a plus charge is present. So it contains 7 minus 1, 6 valence electrons are present. Okay, students, the 6 valence electrons, and out of that 2 iodine bonded atoms are present. Then it has 2 lone pairs and 2 bond pairs are present. 2 lone pairs plus 2 bond pairs are present. The geometry will be present like this. Bent shape molecule. Bent. The shape is bent or V shape. And I3 minus, if you observe that I minus, the central atom is I minus. So 7 plus 1, total 8 electrons are present. 8 out of that 8, 2 bonded atoms are iodine. Then the remaining 3 lone pairs are present. So its hybridization is sp3. So here 3 lone pairs plus 2 sigma bond pairs, then total 5 electron pairs are present. Its hybridization is sp3d hybridization, and sp3d hybridization and planar geometry or linear geometry will be present. the lone pairs, and the geometry is linear shape. Okay, now, and if due to the bent shape, the dipole moment nu not equal to 0, and due to that linear shape, the dipole moment, the resultant dipole moment will be cancelled with each other, then dipole moment is 0, and it is polar nature, and it is non-polar nature. Non-polar nature. But if you observe that due to the presence of these are the non above and below the plane, not present on plane, but these atoms are on the plane, on the plane. That's why it is the atoms are present on the plane. Atoms are planar, and linear molecule means automatically linear. Like for example, this is the linear molecule, then the atoms are present in the plane only, means atoms are planar, means atoms, all atoms are planar. So I3 minus is planar, and I2 I3 plus atoms also present in the plane. Okay, so we need to identify the correct statement. For example, you have to think this is like you have to imagine that, dear students, these two bonded atoms, iodine is the central atom. Just you have to think iodine is the central atom, like molecule is present, these are on the plane, and the lone pairs, one is above the plane and another one is below the plane, like bent shape molecule is coming. That's why dipole moment not equal to 0 means polar nature. If dipole moment is equal to 0 means non-polar nature. Okay, which is the correct similarity? Means for example, number of lone pairs are different. Okay, that's why first option is not correct. Hybridization of the central atom is different. Second option is not correct. Polar species, they said, one is polar, the second one is non-polar. Third option is also not correct statement. Fourth option, both ions or the species are present in the plane, planar. That's why D option is correct. Okay, students, don't confuse. So read the statements all and you will get a correct answer. Okay, let's see the 11th question, dear students. The 11th question, what is the given 11th question, dear students? The given 11th question is, we have to identify which of the following species d orbital, means the d orbital need to involve in hybridization having two nodal planes. That nodal planes are dxy and dyz nodal planes containing d orbital involving hybridization. So xy and yz nodal planes present for dxy orbital. Okay, dxy orbital involving hybridization. It involved hybridization is sp3d3 only. sp3d3. Why sp3d3, dear students? If you observe that in sp3d3 hybrid orbitals means 7 atomic orbitals are present, 1 s plus 3 p atomic orbitals, that is px plus py plus pz, and 3 d atomic orbitals, that is dx square y square and dz square must and any one of the t2z atomic orbital. So here two nodal planes are required, dxy and dyz, means that d orbital must should be dxy only. So one t2z orbital that is present in sp3d3 hybridization. If you are observed that sp3d3 hybridization, if7 has sp3d3 hybridization. Why? Means iodine is the central atom. Okay, students, it has 7 electrons are present in the outermost shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That 7 bonded valence electrons are bonded with the 7 fluorine atoms. That's why it has 7 bond pairs or 7 sigma bond pairs plus 0 lone pairs. Then its hybridization is sp3d3. So in sp3d3 hybridization, that one total 3 d atomic orbitals are involving. What are those, dear students? dx square y square and dz square and dxy. So the dxy orbital has 2 nodal planes are present, that is xy and yz nodal planes. And it is very clear, dear students, number of nodal planes, okay, number of nodal planes is equals to L. For d orbital L value is equals to 2. That's why dxy has 2 nodal planes are present. The 2 nodal planes are xz and yz nodal planes. So the answer is IF7. And remaining options also, just you have to check their hybridization. Let's see the A option, IO2 F2 minus. IO2 F2 minus means iodine has the central atom I minus. So total 8 electrons are present. The 8 electrons, each oxygen atom will take 2 electrons, there 1 sigma and 1 pi. The remaining fluorine atoms will take 2 electrons and 1 lone pair is present. 1 lone pair and remaining 4 sigma bond pairs are present. 4 sigma bond pairs. Then total 5 means sp3d hybridization. sp3d hybridization involved atomic orbitals means s plus px, py and pz. The d atomic orbital is dz square only. You have to remember sp3d hybridization. The d atomic orbital involved d atomic orbital is dz square. In sp3d3, see ClF4 minus. The ClF4 minus. Let's see the B option, ClF4 minus. So here chlorine is the 7th A group element, and due to the negative charge in the outer shell, valence shell has 8 electrons are present, the Cl minus. Then that 8 bonds, just you have to write 8 electrons. This is the dot method. By using this method, we can identify very easily number of sigma bond pairs and lone pairs. Okay, and 4 fluorine atoms are present. Each fluorine atom always forms single bond only. The remaining 2 lone pairs are present. So it contains 2 lone pairs plus 4 sigma bond pairs are present. Total 6. 6 means sp3d2 hybridization. In sp3d2 hybridization involved atomic orbital is s plus px plus py plus pz plus dx square y square and dz square. These are the d atomic orbitals. Means xz and yz nodal plane must should be belongs to dxy atomic orbital. dxy or dyz or dzx, any T2z, because the d orbitals they are divided into T types, EZ and T2z. EZ atomic orbitals are dx square y square and dz square, and T2z atomic orbitals are dxy, dyz and dzx. Okay, so these are the 3. So in which dxy nodal planes are xz and yz, dyz nodal planes are xy and zx, dzx nodal planes are xy and zy. Okay, students, like 2 nodal planes are present for d atomic orbitals. Number of nodal planes formula is equals to L. Okay, now dxy atomic orbital involved hybridization or any T2z orbital involved hybridization is sp3d3 only. So IF7 is the answer. Okay, students. In the next class, the remaining questions I will explain you. Get ready for the updates, dear students, and please everyone subscribe my channel for getting more updates regarding NEET and JEE examination. And I am doing in my YouTube channel chapter wise concepts as well as chapter wise objective bits. Okay, thank you for all.